The town of Plainville. Established in 1721 at the geographical center of Connecticut.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Town Council meeting this evening. It's Monday, May 2nd, 2022, 7 p.m. If you please stand for the pledge, Vice Chair Underwood will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We do not have any presentations this evening, but we do have two items under our public hearing, and at this time I will ask our town clerk to please read the notice of the public hearing.
Thank you. Notice is hereby given that the Plainville Town Council will hold public hearings at 7 p.m. on Monday, May 2nd, 2022, in the council chambers of the Municipal Center, 1 Central Square in Plainville, to hear public comments regarding 1. An additional appropriation of $269,150 to the Capital Improvement Plan. 2. Use of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds associated with the American Rescue Plan Act for the replacement of the Toughlin Elementary School chiller, estimated at $300,000. Dated at Plainville, Connecticut, this 28th day of April, 2022.
Thank you very much. Before we ask folks to speak to the public hearing, I will just ask the town manager to give us a quick overview of both of those items, please.
Yes, the first item deals with the Capital Improvement Fund. The fiscal year 22 budget of the CIP included $869,150 coming from the from the unassigned fund balance to support the CIP budget. Earlier this year, the Town Council approved $600,000 of that to be transferred to the CIP, and this is the remaining amount of $269,150. So it's really a procedural matter that gets done each year. The second item is the Town Council had put a list together of potential uses of the American Rescue Plan dollars to support major projects. This particular project was on the list. It includes replacing the chiller at Toughlin Elementary School. It is beyond repair at this point in time and getting parts. And recommendation is to move forward with that. The lead time to get the equipment is somewhere around 35 weeks, so it's really not going to be available till probably about this time next year. So with the long lead time, the recommendation is get moving on it right now, since it is not working. It's not working up to being able to cool the building down.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, I will open up the public hearing. If anybody wishes to speak to item number 1, additional appropriation of $269,150 to the Capital Improvement Plan, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Does anybody wish to speak to item number 1? Mr. Frangos, could you come up so we could hear you, please? Thank you.
Lou Frangos, 10 Fairbanks Street. If I could please, could you help me with item number 1? What exactly is the Capital Improvement Plan? What's this money used for?
These are large projects.
There's a large.
These are a listing of large projects that the council takes up during the budget process. They're generally projects that could include replacement of motor vehicles, buying police cars, maintaining radio systems, replacing dump trucks for the Public Works Department, items such as that.
Okay. So in other words, in essence, for Louis, it goes into an account and then it's used for what you're talking about.
Yeah, the capital improvement.
My point being, this wasn't specific to one item.
Correct. There's probably
Gotcha.
Generally they put up we budget about 25 or 30 items each year.
Thank you.
Some of them involve the schools as well.
Thank you. Should I proceed to number 2? or just wait till you call that?
Well, I don't think there's anybody else here to speak on item number 1, so let's just roll into item number 2. And item number 2, just for the sake of those at home,
Once
is
again,
the use of the Corona state and local fiscal recovery funds associated with the American Rescue Plan Act for the replacement of the Topflawn Elementary School chiller, estimated at $300,000. So if you'd
Thank you.
like to speak on that one, please
yeah, the
do so.
question is, what specifically is a chiller?
The chiller, is the air conditioning unit, the air conditioning that cools the school. And the original one has been in there since, I think it was 2008, when the school was redone. And there have been a couple of issues recently with some of the control board and then some other problems with the compressor. So as these repairs are becoming more costly, it's now time for us to actually replace that unit. And this is the estimated cost of what it would be to replace that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm here, just one quick one in passing. Are we working on the middle school also? Are we going to be doing construction or something on that school too? Being addressed.
Right, our building committee is working with a committee and trying to put together a plan for the major improvements, of which the middle school will be eligible, I believe, next year if we go out to referendum. It can't be done before a certain period of time, and there's a number of items at the middle school that they're looking at. So that won't be in play until sometime next year. We'll actually be looking at some of those things.
But we are heading in that direction.
Correct.
Just
Yes.
the building committee, the town, and the Board of Education looking to submit an application to the state of Connecticut by June 30th of this year. In order for the state to approve that application, a referendum must be held that's approved by the voters in the town. The goal at one point in time was to have the referendum before the application was submitted. That isn't going to be. They're not going to be able to do that. But there is an allowance to have it after the June 30th deadline date. So I'm anticipating, knowing what I know right now, is that probably in the fall there'll be a referendum on the middle school project after it's brought forward to the town council for consideration and after there's public hearings and all of that process. But they're moving towards finalizing a recommendation. It includes a space waiver because the building itself is larger than what the state would allow under new construction. But it's
Yes, sir.
but the other option is to tear down a portion of the school, which doesn't seem to make sense. So we're going through that process at the state. And if you're following the newspaper up at school construction, you know that they're in a little state of flux as well. So we're not getting answers as quickly as we normally would with school construction, but we're it is moving forward.
Yes, sir. If I may, this is over and above this. These two, I'll say with these two specifically. One of the concerns that's gone through my mind is, unfortunately, Mr. Lee is retiring. And I'm looking at the size of some of these projects. We're going to have a new town manager walking into this, and it should be no problem.
Absolutely. Well, I won't say no problem,
that's
but,
fine.
these are projects that have been on our
Finger.
schedule for a long time. And we just have to wait until we can get them to a point where they can get out to referendum and get the costs back to us and then put it out to the voters. So yes, there's other projects that are on our horizon as well that need to be addressed.
The reason I say it is because Mr. Lee has worked from soup to nuts on these projects, and a person coming in cold or something like that, especially larger projects when you're talking money.
Well,
It's a curiosity question, a personal question.
a couple of things. One is one of the things that the town council is looking for in a new manager is their ability to deal with large construction projects. So that's something that the candidates are being asked to describe their experience with doing that, because that is important as far as carrying forward with some of the things that the town of Plainville's are going to be facing, as you pointed out, middle school project and other items. Second thing is, we do have a very experienced capital projects building committee that has been through several of these, and we have a very seasoned finance director who has been through this process as well. So there's support staff that will be able to assist the town manager whoever that may be coming in, and most likely that person will have some experience as well.
Okay. And just in case if you change your mind, you could stay.
And there it is. Thank you, Mr. Frangos. I do not see anybody else in the audience this evening to speak on either one of the public hearing items, so I will close the public hearing and move on to our next item, which is minutes of the previous meeting. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Madam Chair,
Go right ahead.
motion to approve the April 18th, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Announcements and reports. Do we have any announcements or reports tonight? Okay, moving along. Appointments and resignations. We have a number of appointments that we have to take care of tonight. So does anybody have any appointments or reappointments to the boards and commissions that they'd like to do?
Madam Chair.
Go right ahead.
Motion to reappoint Jennifer Bartis Early to the Capital Regional Council of Governments for term 1/1/22 to 12/31/22.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
Just one item with regards to that, just want to point out, Jennifer Bartis Early, I believe, is also the chair of the CROG Regional Planning Agency, group as well. So not only is she a member, but she's actually the chairperson of that group,
Right.
which is significant, I think, for Plainville. To have somebody in that position.
We're most fortunate to have her on our team.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Anything else?
Joey.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
motion to reappoint. I have three appointments: Patrick Kilby, Regine Carrier, and Paul Martin for the new term of the Inlands and Wetlands Commission from 1/7/22 to 1/7/2024.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Are there any other appointments?
Madam Chair.
Go right ahead.
Motion to reappoint William Davison, Matthew Weimer, and Kurt Stevens Jr. to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Motion to reappoint George Fensick, Rebecca Ireland, and Kathleen Cole to the Recycling and Solid Waste Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
Aviation Commission, two appointments
Yep.
from 11/1/21 to 10/31/24. Mark DiPuccio, 130 Hollyberry Lane, and Francis Cawley, 25 Usher Avenue.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
Veterans Council, three appointments tonight from 3/1/22 to 3/1/2024. David Dudak, 20 Overlook Drive, Daniel Coolis, 34 Holcomb Way, and William Brainy, 5 Hemingway Street.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I guess that takes care of it for now. All right, thank you for that. Okay, the Board of Ed is not this time, so we're moving on. Town Attorney, our Town Attorney is here. Good evening. Do you have anything for us tonight? Okay, thank you for being with us. All right, moving on to the report of the Town Manager, Mr. Lee.
Yes, I have a couple of items, the first of which is the budget vote results. Last Tuesday, voters overwhelmingly approved both the general government and Board of Education budgets. General government budget passed with 378 voting yes and 121 voting no. 76% of those who voted yes. Board of Education budget passed with 362 voting yes and 139 persons voting no. 72% of those voted yes. The turnout for the all-day vote was 4% of the registered voters. The next step in the process is for the town council to set the mill rate. The legislative session is expected to have a state budget in place shortly. Their legislative session concludes at midnight this Wednesday, May 5th. Wednesday, May 5th or 4th? Anyway, okay. I think it's the 4th. State revenues to support the local town budgets will then be finalized for consideration by the town council. Town staff will summarize the impact of the state budget for the presentation to the town council on at your May 16th meeting. Hopefully, you may be in a position to set the mill rate on that particular evening. Additionally, the town was recently notified that the state partnership plan for health insurance, that the increase will actually be 10.5% rather than the 8% that was previously projected and budgeted. We found that out last week. The total impact of this increase is $196,069, which $145,360 in the to the education budget and $50,709 to the general government budget. Town staff will recommend that the increase be paid from the debt management line item for fiscal year 23, since the town budget has already approved, the expenditures, and and I believe there'd be monies available through debt management to pay for the overage in the health insurance. We've been using some of that surplus to pay back the deficit in the health in the self-insurance plan, and my recommendation would be, rather than do an additional appropriation from unassigned fund balance, to use the debt management monies to do that. But that'll be under your consideration as we move forward through the budget process next year.
Okay.
All right. Next item I have is the sidewalk construction bid. On April 14th, the town received 5 bid proposals for the replacement of the sidewalks along sections of Maxine Road, Bernice Court, Tomlinson Avenue, and Laurel Court. The bids range from $332,350 to $598,035. The low bid was submitted by D&P Murray Construction of Ludlow, Massachusetts. The engineering staff has contacted several references and did not uncover any reason why D&P Murray should not be awarded the work. Town staff has determined that they are the lowest responsible bid in the amount of $332,350 and is recommending that they be awarded the sidewalk replacement work. There is an item under new business that would authorize the town manager to execute a contract with D&P Murray Construction of Ludlow, Massachusetts for sidewalk replacement in the amount of $332,350. If approved, the work is expected to begin early next month.
Madam Chair, could I just quickly, any reason why the bids were that delta in the bid like that's, I could see $125,000 difference, but you have almost 80-90% difference in the high and low bid.
Yeah.
Did we do any analysis like why, or did we just?
Well, the second low bid was below 400,000. So
Yeah.
we felt relatively comfortable with those. Yeah. We did go back to the low bidder and say, you comfortable with, and he said yes. I think it's the nature of the work. It's, if somebody can grab it for $598,000, and they're probably
Yeah.
really was
Took a chance and said, hey, might as well bid.
They're not desperate as somebody else.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Next item I have is the American Rescue Plan proposed projects. Town staff is recommending that the town council move forward with 3 more projects under the coronavirus state and local recovery funds associated with the American Rescue Plan. The 3 projects are the fiber project for $500,000, the Mountain View Pump Station upgrade, $87,000, and the West Cemetery expansion, $22,500. The fiber project connecting the town buildings, several sewer pump stations, and the police/fire communication to high-speed internet is expected to be in operation by the end of May. The Mountain View Pump Station was upgraded last year. The West Cemetery work would clear land on the property and allow for additional grave sites to be available for the foreseeable future. There is an item on a new business that would schedule a public hearing on these 3 recommendations for May 16th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center. These are all items that were on the original list that was submitted to the town council for consideration, and we're moving these things forward one at a time as we see these projects going forward.
Great, thank you.
The next item is the flashing beacon update. It actually updates, believe it or not. The DOT is The DOT is anticipated to give their final approval for the installation of flashing beacon warning signal on Route 10, which is also East Street, at the intersection of Robert Holcomb Way by the end of May. Town staff has ordered the beacon and is expected to be installed by town staff during the summer months. Additionally, the DOT has recently notified Plainville that they are planning to install flashing beacon warning signals on Northwest Drive in the vicinity of Tofline Elementary School and in front of the post office as part of a safety initiative. Last year, town staff was made aware that the state was considering installing flashing beacons using federal funds for pedestrian safety. Town staff suggested that these two locations be considered. The plan would be for the state to design and install the beacons, with the town being responsible for their maintenance. This project is in its early stages. It is not expected to be completed for at least 1 to 2 years with the way the state moves through the process. And I almost hate to bring it up today because about a month from now, somebody will say, when are they going to install that beacon in front of the post office? But I try to be as clear as possible that the state has notified us. I wanted to at least let the town council be aware of it. We're still probably 1 to 2 years out before it gets done, but town staff will keep the town council informed regarding the progress of the design as it moves forward. So,
Okay.
next item is happenings, which I'll turn it over to town clerk Cindy Perini to hit a few items there.
I do. Okay. Good evening. Senior Center is happy to announce on Thursday, May 5th from 10 to 2, there will be a free oral health screening and a gift bag sponsored by Connecticut Department of Health and Connecticut Oral Health Initiative. So feel free to stop by. All participants will receive a free toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss. On Friday, May 6th, Emmy Award winner Will Tomlinson will be at the Senior Center at 10 a.m. for the Outstanding Sports Show Daily that he had won an award for. 2 additional COVID booster clinics are being offered May 9th and June 20th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you had your first booster before January 9th, you are eligible for your second booster May 9th. If you had your first booster before February 20th, you are eligible for the June 20th clinic. Brain Healthy Cooking, Wednesday, May 11th, 2 to 3 p.m. Please RSVP by May 6th. Back Pain and Orthopedics, Lunch and Learn, Thursday, May 12th at noon. Register by May 9th. Managing Stress in Stressful Times, Monday, May 16th, 11 a.m. Sign up begins May 4th. Parks and Recreation is excited to announce the splash pad will be opening on Memorial Day weekend. The Elizabeth A. Burner Pool will be opening Saturday, June 11th. The Summer Concert Series will begin on Thursday, June 23rd with 8 to the Bar. If you have any additional questions, you can contact their office directly at 860-747-6022. The tax office is ready for processing the second installment payments for the 2022 sewer usage bills due in May. They will not be sending out the May installment. One bill was sent in November 2021 with 2 stubs for payment. They will also be preparing the 2021 GL bills to send out July of 2022. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert and Cindy, for your reports. Does anybody have any questions or comments for either Robert or Cindy with their report tonight? No? All set? Everybody good? Okay. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to item 9, to our public comment section. During this time, we welcome the public to step up to the podium. Please state your name and address. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak to the council. Does anybody wish to speak to the council? Mr. Frangos.
Thank you.
I give enough?
Do we have enough? No?
No, you short one?
You and I can look at this one. Okay. Okay, we're all set.
You got them?
We're good. We're good.
Okay. If you see the chart in front, the reason I'm bringing this up is at the prior meeting, I had talked about a school board liaison. And I had suggested, to somebody from the school board, coming in once occasionally and talk to the town council. Now, what heightened my interest in this was looking at the budget. And the school budget, and this is not, I want to make sure this is clear, this is not an attack on the school board. It's knowledge for the people living in the town of Plainville. And I looked at the taxes, the tax bill, and it's almost double the town. So I said, that's a lot of money flying around. No disrespect. Right. But saying to that, I said, I really don't understand how the school is put together. And if you look at the chart, a very basic, simple chart. I'm not looking for algebra, geometry, anything. This is as basic as it gets. My suggestion would be that whoever the liaison would be from the Board of Education could fill in the blanks and come into the town council meeting and explain to the people, this is the size of the school and this is why it's funded the way it is. And if you look at it, example list, I just listed, started with Plainville for an example. Plainville High, the principal, I think all across the board, the principal will be 1. Now, assistant principal. Now that's why I added that, because I think some of the schools have 2 assistant principals. That's why I added that in there. Now, I'll bet you many people in the town of Plainville don't know that. But it's interest, people know where their money's going. The teachers, I'm just looking for the number of teachers involved. I'm not looking for names, just the teachers. How many teachers are at Plainville High School? How many, et cetera, et cetera. The next one is comparing that to number of students. So now we can do an analysis, 1 student for 15 students, one teacher for 15. You see where I'm going with this?
Yep.
All right. And the bottom line is what's the individual budget given to each school? And that's all I'm looking for, as basic as that. And once that's given, it's given. I'm not looking for a brawl, but I like to have some more basic knowledge.
Okay.
And especially when we're going into, and I'm not saying we don't need it. Example, the chiller and things like that. I see the budget going in there almost twice the town, and then I see more of money appropriated for this, money appropriated. It's, I said a couple years back, I said it in jest, but it seems every time I turn around, something's falling apart in our schools. And in conjunction with that, we're putting so much money into projects. So how can we be putting so much money into projects and everything keeps falling apart? But you understand, it's just a general question. Sure. It's not an accusation. But if this could be done, I sure would appreciate it. If it can't.
No, much of this information that you've outlined, it's in very nice presentation, by the way, has been explained during the Board of Education's budget meetings in January. They have a lot of information. The superintendent puts together a number of documents and slides and things of that nature. And what's included in that information is exactly what you're looking for. The number of administrators, the number of principals, assistant principals, the number of teachers at by each school, the number of students by each school, and what's allocated for various budget items in each of these schools. So it is
very easy for a person with that information from the school board to come up here and address this to us, and it's done.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. I mean, I'm hearing everything. My information, 98% of my information comes from a town council meeting.
Okay.
All right. And I see it fluctuate, cost for the schools, cost for this. I'd like to see the person that's receiving the funds talk to us once in a while. We do that with the chiefs here. We have questions about the police. God rest his soul, the prior chief, he'd be sitting here.
Yep.
And that's all I'm asking. I'm not accusing. I don't want to start a war.
No, I understand. As I said, though, all this information has already been presented to the public, but it's done at the Board of Education meeting when they go through their budget process. So it is public. It is available. When they come to meet with the town council, they actually did do a presentation at one of our public hearings regarding all of these items, not in the depth of detail, but they do explain to the public where all the, where the dollars are allocated. So if you'd like, I can give you that information, but I understand what you're asking is for somebody to come here and actually do it item by, this department by department, section by section, to explain it to
Very
people.
vanilla. If you can see, this is very vanilla
Yep.
for a person for me to understand.
Okay.
And I'd like to hear it from the other side. If it's possible, I don't want to.
Yep. No, I understand. I will speak to the Board of Ed, and I'll speak to the chairperson, I'll speak to the superintendent, and explain to them what you are asking for. And I do know all that information has already been put together.
Thank you.
I know that.
Should be
So
very easy.
perhaps they could come here and
That
do
should
that.
be very easy.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to close the public comment section. There are no other members of the public, exception of the chief. You are a public person, but there is no one else here, so I'm going to close that section of the agenda and move along. We do not have any other old business. So we are in the new business section, and we have a few items that we need to approve. So may I have a motion for item number 1, please?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
motion to appropriate $269,150 from general fund unassigned fund balance, account number 0100-000-32110-0000, to interfund transfer out, account number 0100-840-55511-0000.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Item number 2, please.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
motion to authorize the use of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds associated with the American Rescue Plan Act for the replacement of the Toflon Elementary School chiller, estimated at $300,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Item number 3, please.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
motion to award bid number 2022-16E, Sidewalk Construction to D&P Moray Construction, Ludlow, Massachusetts, in the amount of $332,350.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, please.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
motion to establish a public hearing in the Municipal Center on Monday, May 16th, 2022, at 7 p.m. to hear public comment on the use of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds associated with the American Rescue Plan Act.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, please.
Madam Chair,
ahead.
motion to approve the tax refund as listed on the addendum.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 12. Mr. Lee, do you have any other discussions of interest for us tonight?
Just one item, and that is on Tuesday, May 17th at 7 p.m. in the Town Council chambers here in the Municipal Center. The Town Council, acting in its capacity as the Water Pollution Control Authority, will have a public hearing on the potential extension of sewers into the Honor Heights neighborhood. I put before you this evening a package of information. I did get some feedback from some council members, which I did incorporate into this package. This will be mailed to all of the residents of Honor Heights tomorrow. So I just wanted you to have a copy of it. So if anybody called you about it, but this is the basis for the give people background information about the project in anticipation of the public hearing to be held. This will also be posted on the town website as well. So
Okay.
just wanted to give you a copy and remind people of that public hearing.
Okay, thanks very much. Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring forward tonight? Okay. All right, we do not have an executive session, so may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. We're adjourned. Thank you all.